And we are back on Open Line. I'm Chuck Long here with attorney Kevin Kennedy from the Kennedy Law Firm. We're taking a lot of your calls. Great questions. That helps everybody when you ask those questions. A lot that you can learn from the answers that Kevin is providing. Been in business over 35 years with the Kennedy Law Firm. Has seen a lot in those 35 years. You really have.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know, Chuck, we were talking about, she wanted to address that impeachment.
Right.
Well, I'm going to testify just for a moment.
Okay.
You know, my early part of my career, when I was young, I was very shy. Then I developed this personality, and I always thought I would run for political office. So I spent my whole early part of my career making headway to that, and you need name recognition. And so I never really set out to become a famous lawyer. I came out to prepare for a political campaign. When I got to the end, I said, wow. Then the Lord told me, no, where does this come from? And I said, are you sure? And it really was. So law and politics go hand in hand. So many politicians have been lawyers. I have a master's degree in history, and I was one of the few lawyers that had that. So I have studied political operations, and the truth is, what is impeachment? I will say this. I have never in my lifetime seen more open to interpretation to what is said or what wasn't said than we're in the climate today. When have you ever seen the FBI director and they said, well, he lied, and you see the president and they lied? And I'll teach you something else. Lawyers are never supposed to talk bad about the judicial system. We're supposed to support it, that honesty and justice are the most important thing. Well, y'all turn on the national news, you're seeing everything, even for some of the most skilled lawyers that I've known in my career. I want us to have faith in the system. I believe I've spent my life. I want to teach my children to do it. By the way, I never really ran, but both my sons, they both ran for president of the high school, and we're going to do it. And then they ran for president. Also, we had a young lawyer interviewing, and then I'm going to go back to the question. And I said, well, my oldest son is president of Austin Peay right now, but my other son will be president. And they said, well, there's 11,000 students. I'll never forget this. He was a young, bright lawyer and asking for a job. And I said, yeah. He said, well, you mean you hope he becomes president of Austin Peay? I said, no. He said, why do you speak so confident? I said, first off, no one knows more about Austin Peay politics than the Kennedys. Second off, no one's going to outwork the Kennedys. And third off, nobody will outspend the Kennedys. And that's what we said. And of course, Kenny got to be president, went on, and they both became doctors. Why did I say all that? I said because I understood the political process, and I want you to get involved. You can hear me. I'm on my soapbox tonight. It's a unique night.
Amen.
We've got to have people of integrity in these offices. So you go the extra mile and you vote. And thank you. I'll go back to the legal questions, Chuck.
Absolutely. But no, that's great to hear. So I was going to ask you, what's it going to take to have faith in the system again?
Yes,
but it's integrity. Basically, that's your answer.
And when you lose your integrity, you've lost everything.
Yeah.
How can we go into a courtroom or a hearing when there's questions about that?
All right. So, Betty, we appreciate the call this evening. We're going back to the phone lines right now. Jeannie, we appreciate your patience. And what's your question for Kevin tonight? Are you with us, Jeannie?
Oh, yes, I am. My name is Jeannie, and I have a daughter that is in a child support dispute. The divorce is final. The child support is set, but there's some back support. She doesn't have a lawyer and can't afford a lawyer.
Yes.
Like her ex-husband can. And I've been calling lawyers referral. I've called pro bono number and legal aid. I can't get anybody.
Okay, let me tell you what here's one more option. I thank you for that question, because that can face lots of people. She has a right to file a motion in the court on a yellow piece of paper, just like this yellow pad I'm taking notes. You can write it out and ask the court, make a statement, I'm indigent, I do not have resources, and ask the court to appoint a lawyer. And many times they will appoint one. They might add some money on the court costs to try to defer the costs. But remember, the courts are supposed to be open to everyone. What is equal justice under the law? But again, that's one option. I would tell you to pursue it.
All right, so helpful advice to Jeannie. Jeannie, we appreciate the call this evening. Right back to the phone lines. Again, we appreciate your patience. If you do have that question or comment, though, I strongly suggest getting online with us as soon as possible so we can get to as many calls as possible. All right, Jerry is on the line with us right now. Jerry, thanks for your patience. Do you have a question for Kevin?
Yes, I do.
All right, go ahead.
I have I have a small dog, and I had it neutered or spaded.
All right.
And while they were doing that, they run the tube down her throat and tore up her esophagus.
Oh, my.
And then when it healed, the scar tissue closed her esophagus up, and now she can't eat. And I spent almost $5,000 trying to get her fixed up and taking her to Nashville to the specialist. And they charged me $700 of treatment, and 3 times. And the last time they charged me over the phone $825. But when I got in there, they said it'll be $1,225.
Come on now, we're hearing you.
And that's the truth. And I said, no, I can't. You know, so I brought her on home, and now I live alone. My wife's gone, and she is my companion, my little dog. And we just do everything there. Now, I cannot get a lawyer to help me with this situation. I don't know what to do.
All right,
what should I do?
Let me share with you a few thoughts here. First off, I'm so sorry to hear about your situation. Animals can be a big part of someone's life, and certainly, sir, we salute you. A man that'll go and spend $5,000 on a pet trying to see if, we never know. So much of life is we take a chance. So what about it, Kevin? Much of the time I say take a chance. Not everything we think of is going to work. It won't work every time. It won't work medically. It won't work legally. But what do I say? Let us advance. So what I would say is almost every time we have to calculate what are the expected expenses. And yes, I feel very disappointed to hear what he said. They estimate, well, it's $800. Now when we get there, it's $1,200. That's some deceptive practices. You know, again, we have a medical board that controls veterinarians and doctors, and we have the state of Tennessee that has people to go and investigate wrongdoing. So that might be where I would start and talk to them. They have some of the most skilled people paid by the state. You're a taxpayer. That is available to you. And if you have to, get in the car and go sit, explain it. What we always said here, document, document, document. And so what is your proof to show what you have done and what was represented to you? No one wants misrepresentation. The courts won't allow it.
All right, great advice. And Jerry, thanks for the call, and I hope that helps. All right, we're going back to the lines right now. Stephen is on the line with us. Stephen, we're glad that you're joining us. Did you have a question or a comment for Kevin?
Yes. How are you guys doing tonight?
Great.
We're good.
Thank you for calling.
You're welcome, and I always enjoy your show, guys. But let me get all this out, and then I want to hear what you got to say.
Okay.
I understand an attorney-drawn will. I understand a holographic will very much so. What I don't understand is why I have one heir, owe no money, nothing leans against my place, and got an executor, and everything's taken care of. But I've been told that a video will not hold up in court in Tennessee, and I don't understand why when I'm sitting there looking at the camera in good health, good mind, telling what I want done with my my equipment, my home, my land to my son. And then I made a second one saying about the what's the one about your health? You don't want to live on a tube?
Yep. That's a medical power of attorney.
Yeah, medical power of attorney. I made a second one for that just in case. And I want you to answer that. And then if you remember all that, on my holographic, I wrote a holographic after I was told the video wouldn't stand up any good in Tennessee. And do I need to make 2 different wills on the holographic for my belongings I'm leaving to my son, plus my medical, you know, what to do with me if I get put on the tube. I don't want to live like this.
Okay.
I'll hang up and listen, and thank you guys very much.
Thank you.
Thanks for the call.
Wow, everybody would say, we've got the evidence, Chuck. Here's the video. Tennessee has not recognized it. But do you know people change when men's ideas and values change? The law can change. So that's something someone needs to advance through the court system. So I'm listening to you right now. It may not be available. So the holographic will, you write it in your own handwriting and you sign it. It's legal in Tennessee. But again, same thing with politics and law. We are open to interpretation. This judge may say, I agree with you. This judge may say, I disagree. We have a right to appeal. We go to the Court of Appeals. We've got 3 judges. Good argument, good lawyer, good research. Those guys can make, that's where they sometimes say we have a dissenting opinion. And then if you win, you got one more shot to go to the Supreme Court. So what I would suggest is I would spend the nominal amount and just have it done with a lawyer, and you've increased your odds of avoiding problems 99.9%. And so if we had no other way but to write it on here, for whatever reason the circumstances could have presented themselves, then that's what I would do. But I'd never get rid of that will in case there was a will contest. That evidence that you have will always be valuable. It's not a bad idea. Have I done video wills? I've done them all. And why did I do it? Because I knew some children, we had millions of dollars to split up. Someone was going to say, well, it was misled. Well, then let the judge be the evaluator of their competency on that tape. So thank you so much for the question. It was really a good one. It brought me back to remember some people that have been very close to us.
Absolutely. So, Stephen, we do appreciate that, and I know that's going to help. We're going back to the lines right now, getting to as many calls as we possibly can. James is on the line with us. James, we're glad that you called in this evening. Do you have a question or a comment for Kevin?
Yes, I have a question. Good evening, both of you gentlemen.
Good evening.
Mr. Kennedy, who is highly well known. I have a off-the-wall question. I have been divorced for a couple of years. I have been dating a girl on and off for months. I give up my apartment to move in with her. I have invested about $20,000 to $30,000 in upgrades into the house.
Wow.
We're kind of talking marriage down the road. My question is, I've sold 2 houses and a business. I've got quite a bit of money, of my own money, tied up in several different things. What should I do if we follow through and consider this marriage? Once we're married, does all our belongings come together? Is our house now become mine? Do I have to, other than maybe a prenup, is all of my money that's tied up become ours together? Or what is your advice on that?
Okay, here we go. Excellent question. See it in the law firm almost every week. More people are pursuing that type of relationship. So if you do go to marriage, do I think a prenuptial is a good idea? Absolutely. It goes back to one of my philosophies that I learned from an elderly man. A good understanding keeps down a misunderstanding. So a good understanding, this is my property, this is your property. Things that we do that helps hold that in place. If we had a house and we both want to have our name on it, then we have a good understanding. We are partners in that home, tenants in common. If there's personal property that's purchased, that prenup could say, and then even after you did, you and that person can do a post-nuptial agreement. What does that mean? We just agree that the bedroom set would be mine, the living room set, and we'll sell all the horses and we'll split the money, or you can name them. So I like to go back just to those old basic philosophy. What is right? What is wrong? Let us have a good understanding. And you know, one of the biggest puzzles for Kevin Kennedy is how so many people can love each other so much, and then years later, it's the most bitter fight that you've ever seen. And so never say never. And it was Reagan that said, he said, trust but verify. So I take that one more step. We trust each other, but it wouldn't, what does it hurt if we just put it in writing? And it would avoid a lot of problems or potential problems.
All right, terrific advice. James, thank you for the call. We've got a lot of you online with us. We do need to take a short break, but when we return, we will get to as many of those calls as possible. You're watching Open Line.